Welcome to the Effortless English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, AJ Hogue, where AJ's more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all, without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Here's AJ with a quick piece to help you learn to speak fluent English effortlessly.
I am AJ Hogue, author of Effortless English. Learn to speak English like a native. You speak English like a native. You speak English powerfully. You speak confidently. You speak English effortlessly. When you join my VIP program, you commit to my VIP program. You go to effortlessenglishclub.com. Go there, sign up, commit to being a member. Use the lessons each day, each week, each month. You will succeed. You speak English fluently, powerfully, and effortlessly at effortlessenglishclub.com. All right, fatties. I've decided on a new challenge. I've decided on our new challenge, and I've decided because it's a challenge that I need personally, so we're gonna do it. Okay, 1 second. Let me ban somebody. Already. Okay, so how to lose weight is our topic today. How to lose weight and our new challenges, and recently, I think it was last week or something, I did a show about sleep, and I talked to you about how my sleep has been terrible for, something like 6 months. Been struggling, having a very hard time, not getting enough sleep, just really terrible. And unfortunately, as I mentioned in that show, when sleep is a problem, it affects everything else, and so it has affected my my self-discipline, and to compensate. To compensate means like to balance, right? So because my sleep has been terrible during the day, my energy is not very good, and so what have I been doing? I've been drinking more coffee, and then eating more and more sugary things. Sugar gives that quick little boost of energy, little increase in energy. Eat some sugar, and the energy comes up. Drink some coffee. That's great, but it's one of those things that short term can work, but long term has bad effects, right? Because the bad effects of this long term is, number one, I have gained weight. Unfortunately, I've gone back up. I was really lean until about 6 months ago, and then with all this, the tiredness, it's just my eating habits have become terrible, and I've gained a bunch of weight back. I mean, you can see by my face, it's not like I'm obese or anything, but I'm heavy. I don't like it. And it's just I was thinking about a new challenge, and I was thinking, maybe we do something with exercise. Maybe do something. I was trying to think of what we can do for our next Effortless English Challenge. We decided, I think we agreed that we try something that's not about English, because we did a listening challenge, we did a speaking challenge, listening and reading, and we did speaking and shadowing. Let's do something different. Like a few years ago, we did one for running, just for fun. And then I looked down at my stomach, and I said, I'm fat. And then I don't really use Facebook anymore, but I do read a couple people that I follow there. One of them is the snake diet guy, Cole Robinson. And just today he posted something. He showed 3 month results. So he does this sometimes where he'll gain a lot of weight. He'll get kind of fat, and then he'll try some new fasting routine and lose it all, and do a workout routine, and then he'll see how fast can he lose the weight and gain muscle again. And his results look fantastic. He did 3 months. He had before and after pictures, 3 months. And he looks fantastic now. It's quite amazing. So I thought, let's do something like that. Let's do a challenge like that. So here's what I'm thinking. We'll do a challenge. As usual, we'll do 2 challenges. But only one will involve numbers. So the first challenge is going to be a weight loss challenge, just weight loss. We'll use the same website, and you will enter how many kilograms we lose. So each time you lose 1 kilogram, or even half a kilogram, you'll put it in onto the website. And then when you lose another kilogram, you'll add that. And then, I don't know, I'm thinking 10 weeks for the challenge. 10 weeks might be a nice time. It's about 2.5 months. So we'll just see who can lose the most kilograms. Some of you guys might already be thin. You don't need to do this. That's okay. The second challenge will be what we might call a body composition challenge. This just means how you look, right? So there's weight loss, right? That's just losing the fat. But then body composition also is just how you look. So it's also, muscle too, building some muscle. Even for women, building a little bit of muscle is good. And just, look. So it's kind of that combination. And so for that one, I'm thinking we just use Gab, and we just put before pictures and after pictures. So we, everybody who wants to do that challenge will do a before picture at the beginning of the challenge, post it on Gab, very publicly. Yeah, I know it sucks, man. I don't want to post mine because I got fat little stomach right now, but I'm going to do it. I'll post it. And then at the end of 10 weeks, we'll post the pictures. You can put them side by side maybe, and we'll post the before and after pictures at the end of the challenge. And we'll, hopefully this will be a motivator to work hard. And for that pictures, you might do some kind of exercise as well if you want. It's up to you, But like I said, really, I'm doing this challenge for myself. I just thought it would be motivating for me, more motivating for me to do this, and it would help me, and maybe help a lot of you too. So that's what I'm thinking. So it'll be the first challenge. You'll just count the number of. We'll do kilograms. We'll do the metric system. The number of kilograms lost. Right. We'll just every time you lose a kilogram, you enter it on the website. And we'll see who loses the most. Now, I don't need to... And, of course, obviously, the fattest people hopefully will lose the most, but good for them. Good for them. And then the second challenge will be just pictures. Before picture, we'll do right at the beginning. Everyone who wants to do it, post your before pictures, probably like in a swimsuit, right? Or so with men, shirts off, just wearing a swimsuit. Women, you could do like a bikini or whatever you want, what you're comfortable with. But... just enough so we can really see, what you look like, and maybe probably in the before pictures, a lot of us are going to look bad. It's okay. And then in the after pictures, we'll see what happens. 10 weeks later, we'll see what happens. Now, what about English for a part of this? Well, here's what we can do. I'm thinking, of course we should use this as a way to learn a little English also. So we can learn, this is a really common and popular topic for people around the world. So we can use this to learn a whole lot of vocabulary connected to health, and fitness, and biology, what's called physiology, which is the how the body works, nutrition, exercise programs, all of this kind of stuff. You can learn a lot of the English vocab for this. And the other thing is that I will try to interview different people connected to health and fitness, right? So I've already done this one time. Anthony Arvanatakis, the Greek guy who does homemade muscle, body weight. I don't know. He changed the name. Homemade muscle is what I call it. It was a great interview, really good. His English was great. So I could try to. There's a guy I'd love to do. Who what's his name? Mark Ripatone would be a good one if I can get him on the show. I'd love to do him. He wrote a book called Starting Strength. It's about weightlifting. It's a very good one for beginner weightlifters. When in the past, when I've tried to do some weightlifting, I use that book. I'm obviously not much of a weightlifter. You can tell by my body type. But anyway, but some people are. So I would like to do that. Maybe I could get some runners I could interview. I'd love to interview Stu Middleman, who wrote the book Slow Burn. Maybe Jeff Galloway, who has written several books about long-distance running. I've tried to get Cole Robinson. He doesn't answer me, so unfortunately I can't get him, but maybe I could interview some other people about fasting and nutrition and all these things. And then you all can learn different phrases, vocab, conversations, interviews, all on these kinds of health, fitness type of topics. So that should be fun for the English part too. And we can just discuss those topics, obviously in English. So there will be a language side to that as well. And maybe I'll do some recommendations. I'll read some articles, during the show, where I'll read little quotes and things, teach you vocab from that, from different books that I have, or different articles that I find. So combining all of this, I think, we can, there's quite a lot of vocabulary. If you start reading books about exercise and diet and health and fitness and weight loss, there's a lot of words and vocab that sometimes can be a little bit difficult, because some of the writers they get into the biology a lot, the chemistry and the biology. So it can get a little complicated, the English. And so this might be a chance to learn some of the vocab connected to all of that. And it's a common conversation topic. If you meet people around the world, talking about health and fitness is something that a lot of people like to talk about. So there you go. Now, so weight loss and before and after pictures. Weight loss, how are we going to do it? And this is the other thing. We can also share our ideas. Like you can use any method you want. I'll be doing the snake diet. That's how I'll do it. I'm going to be following, now there's lots of different ways to do the snake diet stuff, so I'm not sure exactly how I'll do it. Last time I did 2-day fasts. We'll see this time, I'm not sure. I'd like to also get back to doing a little bit of strength training, maybe try to build a little muscle during this. So gain just a little muscle while also losing some fat. Not losing some fat, losing a good amount of fat. That's my goal. Some of you might be more focused on the muscle or something else. But anyway, we can share our methods and everything. So it'll be interesting. Hope you enjoy it. So that's our next challenge. That's what I'm thinking. And like I said, I will be doing this one. So that's the good thing. When I do the challenges, I think it's more fun, because then I'm really enthusiastic about it. And so I talk about it a lot more. I'll do a lot more shows about the challenge, and it's like we're all in it together. I think it's a lot more enjoyable. Like the last one I didn't do, and I think it was less fun for me. Maybe I know the people who did it still got good results. Asma says, is it important to put pictures? So no, that's why I'm saying we're going to do 2 challenges, as always. One of them will be just the numbers, just counting the number of kilograms you lose. You can just do one, as always, you can just choose one challenge. You can do both, or you can don't do it at all. It's up to you. If you're already really thin, you don't need to worry about it. But you can still learn about the vocab, and maybe we'll talk about fitness and exercise. That still might be interesting to those of you who are already very thin. But so if you feel weird about putting the pictures, I know a lot of people might be shy about this. So you don't have to. Of course not. Nope. You can just if you want to do it, you can just count the number of pounds, or I said pounds, number of kilograms that you lose. That's also fine. So, but if you want to do the pictures, I'll do the pictures. And it's embarrassing. I think, right now, I don't look great, but so what? Jermila says, advice, stop eating fat food, stop eating sugary sweets. Well, yeah, that's a big one. Instead, eat more vegetables and fruit. No sweet drinks at all. All this is good advice, indeed. Okay, Rosan says, I put my mind to get a 6-pack by exercise. So 6-pack is kind of slang for, you probably know your stomach, right? Those muscles, when you're so thin, You can see all 6 of the individual muscles. That means you've lost all that fat from the stomach. It's not easy to do. You've got to be very thin to do that. So good. Hadil Rosan says he wants to do that. I'm going to be exercising at home and fasting to start from the year to now. Good. Join. So you can definitely join. Do your pictures now. Take a picture now. Even if you've already started doing this, take a picture now, and then take a picture at the end. If you want to do the pictures. Lisa says, it's a great challenge. We can develop new habits with healthy eating and exercise. Yeah, I think so. And while you're exercising, you all can be listening to English too. Okay, Patil says, you're awesome, but I want to gain muscle. Okay, so anyone who's already kind of thin, maybe you're even skinny, like especially for guys, right? And maybe you don't need to lose weight, but you want to actually gain weight. You want to gain muscle. You could just do the picture challenge only, right? Because you're not trying to lose any weight at all. In fact, you want to gain it. So just do that challenge, the pictures, because the pictures we can see your increase in muscle. If you want to do it, you can do that. And Yona says, my challenge is to gain weight. So again, yes, there are, this usually is for men who want this, is they're skinny. So they don't have much fat, especially younger men. And like I was like this when I was in my 20s and teenager. So super skinny, like really, really thin, but I had no muscle. So, right, just do the picture challenge if that's your situation. Vladislav says, last year I lost 15 kilos by fasting pretty quickly. I'm still holding my weight at this level. My mom tells me I need to add a few kilograms. See, that's great. Good for you. Yeah, I lost 10 last year, and I've gained most of it back because of the sleep problem. I was doing great until my sleep fell apart. And anyway, but no excuses. We'll do this, and it'll be a good challenge. So Vladislav may not need to. Probably don't need to worry about that. And like I said, this won't be for everybody. Cool. Akko says, awesome. I was thinking about losing some weight anyways. Great. Andrea Bodhi says, I'm doing Herbalife nutrition. Fantastic. You can use some of this. Ahmed says, actually, I'm watching this video and working out at the same time. Exactly. Great. You can combine it with English. All right, so several of you have talked about gaining weight, and that's cool. I've addressed that now. Is this the reason for my disappearance the last 3 days? It's connected to sleep always. Yes. Yes. Okay, Allah says, I'm from Gaza in Palestine. Love you. Well, thank you. Like to learn from your videos. Kumipon says, I want to flatten my stomach. Okay, Kumipon, well, I would say fasting for you. Fernanda says, it's a great time for this challenge. I've gained weight since my park was closed because of the quarantine. There you go. There you go. It's exactly. I think it is a good time. And this time of year is a good time, I think, for a lot of people, especially northern hemisphere. I don't know, down there. You guys are going into winter. Ilana Khan says, great challenge. I'd like to lose 5 to 7 kilograms, but especially I want to be more picky, choose more wholesome foods. Okay, Albert McKing is going to use a vegan diet, sunlight, enough water, exercise, and liver flushing. Cool. Alexandra says, no sugar, no flour, nothing from the bottle, more avocados, and more eggs. Nice. So you guys all have your systems here. It'll be interesting. Hadi says, in my opinion, walking is the best way to lose weight, but you must do it every day. Walking's a good one. How are your babies doing? Asked Vladislav. They're very well now. They're very, as they say in Japanese, genki, which means healthy and energetic. They're doing great now. Thank you. Okay, let me just try to catch up on these. Yelena says, hi, I'm from Croatia. I was swimming in the sea yesterday. This is a good idea for a challenge. Great. So Gyasi says, my slim secret is walking every day at least 30 minutes. Ideal says, I'm doing the ketogenic diet, working out during the virus period. Yep. So we'll talk about all these things. Ketogenic, let's talk about that, because that's a nice keto or ketogenic. Ketosis is how it's pronounced, is the noun. So what is this? Because this is something that's kind of, I don't know about new, but kind of new, that if you read about fat loss, you might come across this, the ketogenic diet, keto diet. And what this is just a very, very, very low carb diet. Very low, like, typically something like 10 grams of carbs a day. And a carbohydrate is basically a sugar, okay, right? And there's two kinds, simple and complex. So simple carbohydrates are like fruit or even candy, that kind of fast sugar. And then what's complex carbohydrate is like bread, pasta, potatoes, these kind of things. But they're all carbs. So a ketogenic diet limits those carbs, those sugars and starches. Starches are the complex ones. Limits them a lot, either zero or very, 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 very low, like 10, 15 grams a day, very low. So what are you eating? You're eating protein and fat, and typically fairly high on the fat. And the idea is that this will cause your body to go into ketosis. And what is ketosis? So normally your body, if you're eating carbs, if you're eating sugar or carbs, then your body is burning these sugars for energy, right? Mostly. And your brain is using them. Your brain uses a lot, actually. When you stop eating any kind of carbs, what do your brain and your body do? They have to do something, right? They have to change. They need energy still. So they switch over and they start burning fat. And your body produces something called ketones from this process, the process of burning fat. Your body produces something called ketones, which your brain especially uses for energy instead of sugar, and your body too. Right? And this, when your body is mostly burning these ketones from the fats, we say you are in ketosis. You're in the condition of ketosis, of burning ketones, of basically of burning fat instead of sugar. So a ketogenic diet is trying to do this. Now this fasting does this. The fastest way to do this, the quickest way to do this is fasting, which is just don't eat at all. When you stop eating, what does your body use for energy? It needs something, right? Well, there's no sugar you have to eat. So what does your body do? It burns fat. What fat? The fat that's on your body, right? So that's when you just stop eating completely, which is called fasting. That is the best way to get into ketosis, to make your body burn fat, which is why it works so well. Cool, Ryan Arita says, it's good to see you again. I do push-ups every day. I reached 40 push-ups. Thank God. Great. And see, so this could be, especially the picture one, some of you may want to focus more on the exercise part. Amma says, have you tried intermittent fasting? I have tried it. I find, in terms of fat loss, that longer fasts work better, for me at least. Yeah, Ahmad says, can you invite experts to give us more ideas? Yes, that's what I was saying earlier, that I'll try to interview people. I'll start inviting people to do interviews on different topics about fat loss, exercise. We can get a whole lot of different opinions. There are lots of different, you can even see in comments already that people do all kinds of different types of food when they're trying to lose weight, different kinds of exercise. So there are different ways to do it. I think, in my opinion, in terms of losing fat, the fastest way is just don't eat at all. I mean, it's just pure logic. If you don't eat anything, your body has to burn fat, and that's going to cause you to lose the most weight the quickest, for sure, fasting. Now, when you do eat, because you do have to eat eventually, then then there's all different opinions about how to do that and what to do, and you can try different things, and it'll be interesting to share those ideas and see how we do. Bertalon says, yeah, this is tough for anyone who does fighting and weight classes. When I prepared for a jiu-jitsu tournament, I had to lose 8 kilos, which was really suffering for me, but I did it. I went to the sauna one day before the tournament to let the water come out of me. Yeah, man, that's what those MMA fighters do too. It looks like torture. It looks terrible. I'd rather just fast, like earlier, because that sweating it out, dehydrating yourself, sounds brutal. It looks horrible. I know it's not fun. It's really hard. Tanushka White says, I'm climbing up on a mountain right now. It's hot here. I hope I'll lose 1 to 2 kilograms at least today. Nice. Longer fast must be associated with fluid taking. Depends on how long. Yeah, so I'm curious. So here's, Mola says, I'm usually walking in the morning before the fake virus, and eating healthy, so I lose 10 kilograms. Nice. Bethlehem Yona says, here in Ethiopia, we eat a lot of protein. And a lot of fiber. Is that bad? Sounds good. That sounds like a paleo diet. Actually sounds very good. Alaham says, excess sugar causes many problems. It is a gateway to all diseases, such as cancer, etc. I agree. If I had to pick one thing that is the most unhealthy in terms of common foods, it is sugars. And that's why I gained weight. I started eating a bunch of sugary stuff, sweet stuff, because I was tired. Carmela says, if you like yogurt, it's great, but only low fat. They're great for calcium. Brahima says, what about watermelon? I like it. I think it's not super, it's got carb. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're doing ketogenic diet, probably not watermelon. But on the other hand, it's not so high in calories, I think. So. To make your stomach empty to avoid severe hunger, says someone with an Arabic name. Ryan Rita says, how about doing a plank for 5 minutes to lose weight? It's good as well. Plank is when you go into the push-up position, right? Like you're getting ready to start. You're going to start a push-up. You're on the ground, but you never move. You just hold that position. It's called a plank. It's good for your abs. I don't know about weight loss, but it's good for your abs. So Carlos, another one who needs to gain weight. Says losing weight is not as difficult as gaining. If you're by that you mean gaining muscle, I'm sure. Gaining fat is pretty darn easy. But just eat more sugary stuff and you'll gain fat. But yes, gaining muscle is not easy. It's a little tricky. Gaining muscle without gaining fat is a little tricky. At least for me. I think for a lot of people, it's kind of difficult to gain that muscle. For some people, like for me, I've never been able to gain much, not like large muscles. On the other hand, I can run, I can do endurance sports very easily. Shadim Bari says, gentlemen, I am trying to lose weight for 3 months, but I can't do it. I'm disappointed. Okay, so let's talk about methods. I'm going to do snake diet. Here's what I recommend. Any of you who want to do the fat loss, in my opinion, is the best one. I think it's the best. In my experience, it's the best one. And in fact, the easiest. And so it's the YouTube channel called Snake, like the animal, Snake Diet. And the man's name is Cole Robinson. He's a crazy man in a good way. He yells and screams. He's super direct. He's like a military person. Right? But here's why I like him. He tells the truth. He tells the direct truth. He's honest. He's truthful. Truthful. So go watch some of his videos. He's got a lot of videos, and a lot of his live stream videos, he's repeating the same question. People ask him the same questions all the time. He says the same thing many times. So just go and look in his YouTube channel and look in the titles and find some where he talks about kind of the basic snake diet methods. He has many different ways you can do it, right? The key things with snake diet is don't eat and drink what he calls it snake juice. It's basically a salt. It's water with some salt and some potassium. It's just plain water, and you add a little bit of salt and a little bit of potassium. Why? Because these are called electrolytes. Electrolytes are a kind of chemical that, more or less, they help the electricity in your body work. And there are many other. It's more complicated than that. I don't understand all of it, but it's these kind of chemicals that we need, right? If you sweat too much, if you don't get enough salt, you can have a lot of problems. So drinking too much, just plain water when you're fasting, and just drinking plain water. If you do that too many days, you can start to have some problems. You'll lose salt, and then you'll start to feel terrible. And also potassium is the same. So when you add a little salt and a little potassium to the water, it'll keep these chemicals in your body, which you need, and you'll feel better during the fast. That's the main thing. It makes the fast a little easier, not quite as difficult. So how do you do the fasting? There are many different ways to do it. For most people, I recommend you do either a series, right? You're chaining together fasts. So you do either 2 days or 3 days, 48 hours or 72 hours. So like I did 48 hours for a month. You would do 48-hour fast, no eating, just drink the snake juice, just the salty water, and then eat one meal, right? After 48 hours, you eat one meal, not a huge meal, not huge calories. Just, it's up to you. You could go low carb. Then after that one meal, you fast for another 48 hours, so 2 more days. So basically you eat one time every 2 days. And you just do that for as long as you need to. Maybe a month, maybe 6 weeks, maybe 6 months. Doesn't matter. So you eating once every 2 days, once every 48 hours. Or you could do the same thing, but every 3 days. So same idea, but you fast 3 days, eat one time, fast 3 days again, eat one time, fast 3 days again, eat one time. During your fasts, you're drinking the snake juice water with potassium and salt. We'll talk about the formula, how much to use. That's it. That's the basic snake diet approach. If you're also doing exercising, like lifting weights, it's a little tricky. Usually you're going to lift weights right after you eat. Or you could there's so many ways. He talks about a lot of different. When you add in hard exercise, it's a little tricky when you're fasting like that. He has a lot, meaning Cole, snake diet guy, he has a lot of different suggestions for doing that. We can discuss some of them. On the other hand, for low intensity exercise, for example, walking, slow swimming, slow cycling, you can do that even when you're fasting. Like last year when I did this, I would walk. I was walking about 2 hours a day, and walking and fasting it's no problem. It's really easy. In fact, it helps the fast, and obviously you're burning more calories. So doing some kind of exercise while you're fasting is good. So that's the very basic way to do it. That's what I'll be doing. That's my approach that I will be using. The only tricky thing for me is I'm not sure what kind of exercise I might try to do. We'll see. If my sleep is still bad, I might just walk. I'd like to do something more than just walking, but I'll have to wait and see. Yeah, like Ahmad Slim says, is it okay to do both, weight loss and making muscle? Is it better to focus on one and then the other? Either. You can do. They're both possible. It's not easy. To do both at the same exact time is not easy. I think Cole Robinson does have some plans for doing that, where you're fasting, and then on the days you eat, you do like a hard workout. Immediately before you eat or immediately after you eat. I can't remember. Or the other way you can do it, you could just focus on fasting, cut all the fat, then start focusing on building muscle after. So I think either one is fine, but I haven't done it myself, so I can't say for sure. But I know Cole Robinson talks about it on the Snake Diet channel, and he's got so many different plans for doing that. That's when it becomes kind of complicated. If you're just trying to lose fat, it's very simple, actually. What I said, 2-day fast or 3-day fast until you're thin. That's all, really, plus some walking. If you try to also gain some muscle, then it becomes more complicated, because you have the timing of your workout becomes important. You don't want to be working. If you're doing a 3-day fast, you don't want to do hard workouts in the middle of your fast, right? It's too much. So that'll be the tricky part if you're trying to do that. People are saying don't eat bread. I agree. Cut carbs is also pretty good. So Sinkadri says, in my opinion, before we choose the method of losing weight, we should learn about all the negative effects and health risks of being overweight. Yeah, it's good to remind yourself, build up your motivation and why you're doing it. Yana Sharif says, what do you think about body flex? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what that is. Is that like one of those machines for losing weight? Drinking warm water on an empty stomach. I don't know specifically about the temperature, but honestly, I think just fasting. Nothing can beat fasting for weight loss. Really. Okay. So Jamel's saying she had 3 bad winters, lost 11 kilograms, maybe because of health problems. So she's happy having a few more kilograms. I get it. It's all right. This is not for everybody. Okay, Marwa says, my weight is 60 kilograms, but I want to lose more. Good luck. Madi says, I was just eating a big pizza, maybe more than 1,500 calories. Do you also have pains in your body, AJ, like other old people? No, I have one injury right now with my wrist is injured because of the babies. But otherwise, no, I'm fine. Someone asks, all you need says, do you do some muscle exercises? I have not been, but I will. I don't know how much I'll be doing during the challenge, but I'd like to do a decent amount. I just do body weight stuff now, pull-ups and push-ups, things like that. Cool. Ahmad Saleem says, I've tried walking around while listening to your podcast. I have successfully lost much weight. Thank you. You're a part of it. There you go. Oh, cool. Jeff W. says, I'm on the snake diet, 72-hour fasting, 1 month already, lost 11 kilograms. Rock and roll. Awesome. Good job. Really good. What I found, like I did, when I did it, I think I did a couple 72-hour fasts. And then as my weight started dropping, those became really hard. Like I felt like I was starving. So then I dropped it down to 48 hours, and it worked better for me. But what you might find is as you get closer to your goal, as you really become thinner and thinner, the longer fasts become harder. If you're quite fat, like right now, I could probably do 3-day fasts. And then once I cut a few kilograms, drop it to 2 days. I might do that. We'll see. We'll talk about it. When are we going to start this, by the way? Let's do it soon. Like I said, I'm thinking about 10 weeks about. Maybe we can start it next week. Like June 21st might be a good day to start it. That's the summer solstice. That's kind of a nice symbolic day. And then, let's see, 10 weeks would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. We could just go to the end of August. Let's just go to September 1st. Give us a couple extra days. So we could do June 21. So basically it would be the summer for Northern Hemisphere people. Yeah. I'll see if I can get the website set up for counting the fat loss. But that seems about right. How much do you weigh in kilos now? Antonio de Lima is asking. I need to look. I think it's probably about 80 again. Yeah, I think I'm up to 80 again. I hope I'm not more. And Antonio says, how tall are you in the metric system? 178. Oh, teacher, let's see. Im Young Hun says, Anthony from Body Weight Muscle started a body weight muscle program recently. You can watch his videos if you like. Cool. I'm thinking of doing one of his programs. He's got one called the Superhero Program. This is what I'd like to do. But this is his most intense program. It's very intense. It's quite a lot of push-ups and pull-ups. And I don't know if I can handle doing that while I'm fasting and not sleeping much. So it might be too much for me, honestly. But I might try it, and then if it's too much, drop back and do a little less. Something like that. So Marwa says, what weight do you think is perfect? I need a lot of sports. I need to lose more. My weight is 60. It's hard to say because, it depends on how tall you are. It depends on how much muscle you have. And as like you mentioned, it depends on what you're doing. Like, are you a serious athlete? Are you in a sport where you have to hit a certain weight? Like fighters have to hit certain weights, weight classes. So a lot of fighters, they have a weight they need to be under because they're trying to get into one category. Other people don't care. Like weightlifters typically don't care about their weight so much. That's why you'll see powerlifters sometimes have those big stomachs. They don't really care because they're just, all they care about is the pure strength. How much can they lift? So anyway, all these things, there's not like one right answer for this. So it depends how much muscle you want, and what you're trying to accomplish. I think that for just general health, you can just kind of look in the mirror and have a pretty good idea, right? Do you have, a really simple thing is you just look in the mirror and don't pull your stomach in. Just relax, look in the mirror, and is your stomach kind of, soft looking and kind of a little bit big or maybe very big? And you're too fat. You can just use your eyeballs for that. To know if you're too much. On the other hand, if you have a nice flat stomach, you don't need a six pack and look, it's nice if you do, but just a nice flat stomach, then you in terms of weight, at least, that you're a nice healthy weight. And it's the same with your muscle. You can kind of look and It's kind of what kind of muscle you need. If you're a long distance runner, you're not going to have large muscles, right? You're going to be kind of long muscles. They're not typically muscular. If you're a serious weightlifter, you're going to have bigger muscles, probably big muscles. So it's really up to you for these kinds of things. But I say just in general, a decently flat stomach is a really easy measurement. And then for other health measurements, you can do some blood tests and things. But it's really amazing how just the eyeball test, just look in the mirror test, gives you a pretty fast idea, right? Colleague says we need to talk about how to gain weight. I'll see if Cole Robinson has some ideas on the gaining weight, the gaining of muscle. This is a challenge because this is something I'm not good at. I've never been very good at doing this. I have tried doing it a few times in my life. The advice you always hear about gaining weight, and this is from like bodybuilders and weightlifters, right, is to eat more. Like I think one of the big problems, I could never eat enough food, protein specifically. I just don't think I could, because the advice will be something like 1 gram of protein per pound. So let me think of metric. That would be half gram of protein per 2 grams of protein per kilogram. Right, so someone like me, I would need like 160 grams of protein every day to seriously build muscle. I'm 52. That makes it even more difficult. But let's just say I was 20. I've never been able to eat that much protein. I'm gonna trying to force myself to eat. I can't eat it. It was like torture. I just could not eat that much. But that's what a lot of people say. The book Starting Strength, it's Mark Ripatone. You might get that book, Mark Ripatone, Starting Strength. His simple advice is 1 gallon of milk per day. Now, again, this is for young people who have fairly fast metabolisms and who are doing serious weightlifting, and they're trying to gain muscle. Okay? The problem is you might gain some fat with this too, but 1 gallon is probably 3 liters of milk a day. Whole milk, not full fat milk. Like, to me, that also sounds hard. I don't like milk that much. So that sounds like a hard thing to do. But that's his advice. So yeah, I'll try to find some advice so we can ask about that. For those of you trying to gain muscle, I don't care too much about gaining a lot of muscle, honestly. I'd like to keep my strength, but I know some of you guys really might be interested in that. I'll try to research that myself more, and we'll see if we can get some guests to interview and discuss that topic as well. Oh, cool. The Korean Hun, what is it? Is it Jin? My Hangul, I forgot. Anyway, by the way, I'm the one recommending Cole Robinson to you. I remember you on Gab, you recommended him. Thank you. I'm 5'9" and 80 kilograms right now. You have babies to take care of, and I've got no excuse. Let's get lean together. Let's do it. I agree. Yep. So 176. We're about at the same. I am a tiny bit taller than you, but it sounds like we're more or less right at the same body right now. So let's do it. I agree. Awesome. And thank you for recommending him. How about the electrolyte powder recommended by Cole? Do you buy it or make it yourself? Asks Sagragard Academy. I make it myself. It's he even recommends you make it yourself. It's super cheap to make yourself. I mean, salt is very cheap. Potassium chloride is also super cheap. That's how you get the potassium. We'll discuss this. I'll show you what I bought on Amazon. He sells it where it's made already. Honestly, though, you just buy some salt, you buy some potassium chloride, you put a couple spoons of each. It's easy. It's super, 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 super cheap. You'll save money fasting. Ryan Rita says, does your Twitter work? No, I basically am off of Twitter. I'm off of Twitter. I'm off of Facebook mostly. So follow me on Gab. It's the only social media that I read or pay attention to, really. Okay, I think we're going to go now. That's going to be it. I got a baby that I need to bring in my room here to go to bed. And Khalifi, I'll give the last comment too. What Khalifi says, what about the psychology of that causes gaining weight? For example, anger, eating too much. Yeah, I think for me, I know stress is a big one. When I'm stressed out, and when I'm tired. Not just tired like one time, but I mean like days and days being really tired or really stressed or both. That's when like my self-discipline for food starts to fall apart, and then that's when I start to get quick energy. That's when I start drinking too much coffee or going for sweet foods. Right? This is the spiral. And then once I start doing that, then it becomes this kind of negative habit, right? So that's what it was for me. Like kind of like a year and a half ago, a little over a year ago, had a very, very, very stressful time. That's when I first gained weight the first time. Just like the most stressful time in my life ever. And I was just eating garbage. Then I did the snake diet, lost all the weight. And then it's just been, again, in the last 5-6 months where my sleep has fallen apart, which is very stressful. It's, like for a first month or so, not so bad. But after 6 months of that, I'm really feeling it. And so yeah, I've gained weight again. My wife and I are talking about trying to change some things to try to improve our sleep situation. We'll see. Okay, guys, lots of love to you, and I should be back again hopefully tomorrow if I can get some sleep, and we'll talk more about this and, of course, other topics as well. All right, lots of love to you. If you're interested, contact me on Gab. You'll see on the screen if you're watching, gab.com/AJ Hogue. Contact me and let me know if you're interested in doing one of these challenges. You can even start posting your pictures, your right now pictures if you want to. I'll post mine soon. Okay. Talk to you later. Bye for now.